I mean, you have 265,000 followers on Instagram.
$15 for a really small salad. I feel like I'm somewhere else. That's not
Oh my God.
their field.
I got to be a woman for a day.
Exactly.
So they're like, yeah, your body, your choice. And then they're like, well
unless it's a woman.
Unless it's
not
a
for
woman.
you.
Not for you. Yeah.
You're not a whole person. It's like, if I'm not a whole person, I'm not paying taxes anymore. I'm not cleaning up after myself anymore. Like, you deal with the abortion shit. If you're the whole person and I'm half of a person, I have less bodily autonomy than a corpse.
What do you...
Thank you for coming on my show. I really appreciate it. I've been working on the show for a while, and I've been trying to get you on for years. And
I'm honored to be here today. And
can I swear on my show?
Yes, you
I
can.
am, because I'm not going to demonetize you. I want to make sure we're not demonetizing anyone.
No, let's not demonetize anyone.
Okay, so what swear words can I say then?
No, you can say them all, because
I'm
actually not monetized yet.
Oh, but like that might inhibit your ability to get monetized if I talk the way that I normally do.
No, I think we should just have fun today.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. You can always bleep it. Honestly, kind of the art of bleeping, it's very 90s and it's kind of fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
Do you garden? Yes or no?
Not at the moment. I've had a few gardens. Your mom actually helped me set up my first one, which was awesome. My old little house on Low.
Nice.
And then I had a garden in Brooklyn, which was awesome, except that I had to climb down the fire escape to get down to it to water it. And it was kind of an adventure, but trying to climb back up one-handed with the produce was a little dangerous, but it was fun.
When I think Brooklyn, it's like, wouldn't that be on a rooftop?
Well, it's too hot on the rooftops there because they all have that silver reflective paint. But like, we had a small little backyard, but the dirt was disgusting. I found like broken glass and used condoms and everything.
We're recording this on the day that I released some episodes, political ones. This is such a breath of fresh air, by the way.
Wind, fresh air, let your hair down. You should take your hair down and we'll do
like one of those shampoo commercials.
Exactly. We can do a modeling tutorial. We need a fan though. Oh yeah, let's get slow-mo. Let's get the slow-mo out. Let's try it. Okay, let's do this. We're going to do it right. Okay, wait. I'm ready for it. So you want to start low and give yourself room to look back.
Does it need to be in the front or the back?
You're gonna want your hair. Well, it depends which way you're gonna flip. That where you. So let's do the classic where you're gonna flip it over.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do that because I just curled my hair. Okay. No hands. Ready, set, go.
See, but it needs to be like wet.
You do. Yeah. Where's your squirt bottle?
Have you ever done a shampoo commercial?
No, but I've done one where I was covered in mineral oil to like, so all the gels would like reflect off of me.
So you were like super oily?
That made me break out in a rash. Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah.
But it looked amazing. God. When Lindsay Adler asks you to do anything, you just say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't do nude shoots. Like, I just don't really do them. Not like I'm against it, but just like, you know, my dad and I are really cool with each other. And like, I'm just not trying to do that much. But when Lindsay Adler asks you to do a nude workshop, like, you do it. So the first and only time I've ever done nude work is for her workshop that has like 30 other photographers at it, along with her full staff of like 10, 15. So like I show up and it's like my first time and I have to just be like in front of 40 people.
Oh my God.
It was really amazing, but it was just so scary.
That takes so much courage.
I'm a 100% in or out kind of person. Like either I'm just like gonna stay in my anxious little bubble, which I do a lot, or I'm like, I commit fully. Like I'm just one or the other. I have no in-between speed.
I love that. That's super commendable. It's kind of relatable too, because like on this show, if I reach out to people, it's usually like it's like a fuck yes or a fuck no. Mm-hmm. Or they'll be like, yeah. And then you never hear from them again.
That's pretty
it's just
typical.
Fine. It's like no judgment there, but
I did that too, so we can talk about it. It's okay.
I mean, it's kind of like a firewalk a little bit. I mean, it's the hot seat. Some people want to be in front of the camera, others.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. People are like, this is kind of
yeah. How did you first get into modeling? What was?
So it's kind of a long story.
I want to hear it.
So I always kind of was like interested in it, but I was never quite the right size. And so I ended up, when I moved back to New York, I was living in this family's sub basement. So like basement, me. Like, can't stand up in it on an air mattress. Like, I'm living there in exchange for playing in the dad's band. Like, his sub-basement was his recording studio. Not part of the story, but it kind of like paints the picture, because this is in kind of like an affluent area in Brooklyn. And then who lives across the street? Ashley Graham.
Whoa.
And I didn't even know that plus size modeling was like a thing. I had no idea that like anyone even did that. And so, you know, I see her, I end up getting a job at the gym she works out at. I go on a date with one of her personal trainers, and he's kind of like, you could do that. And I'm like, could I? And then fast forward a couple years, and I enter a model search for Plus Model magazine, and I won. And then that kind of just got the ball rolling, and I clawed my way in.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that certain energy that's just has to be undeniable, I think, where you just you're breaking into like whatever industry.
It fucking sucks, dude. Let's be real. It fucking sucks. It's awful.
It's a super grind.
It's really intense.
And there's a lot of voices too. I don't know. For me anyway, I'm just thinking like, no, you shouldn't do this. Like, you're crazy. You know, like, look at you putting out subpar, whatever it is, like content.
It's not subpar. That's not the problem. It's finding, there's so much good content out there. It's about getting it into the right hands. That's the hardest part.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said subpar. It's just that you're competing with the best. Everyone, you know, It's like, where else could you be putting your attention? Netflix. Like,
exactly.
Like, good luck.
Like, you know, professional film set. Like, you know, like I feel the same way. There's like supermodels that have, and by the way, like a lot of the plus size supermodels have, you know, had like plastic surgery and stuff, because there's not a size 18 woman that has a razor sharp jawline and a flat stomach and huge perfect tits and a huge perfect ass without like belly rolls or like a double chin or like something else. It doesn't exist in the wild. So like now we've created like 2 beauty standards. You can either be a 0 and be like teeny, 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 or you can be a 16 and have the perfect hourglass figure. And I don't even know where I'm going with this, but like, but like competing with like on the internet, you're competing with the best of the best in the entire world. And that's a lot.
It's insane.
That's a lot of people. That's 8 billion people we're competing with. Like, that's really intense.
Yeah. Well, your message is a sincere one. And I mean, there's got to be some, I mean, you have 265,000 followers on Instagram.
It's yeah. I mean, it's not.
It
hasn't grown in a while. I'm not a superstar, but thank you.
I think you're a superstar.
Well, thank you. That means a lot to me. I think you're a superstar too.
But that takes a lot of conviction.
It takes a lot of work. That's really all it is, and just like consistency.
Yeah.
Like anything.
I think there's something about, like, maybe that plus size trend was like trying to bring reality back to something that was completely distorted. And now it sounds like you're telling me that like perfection crept into that.
It's even more distorted. Like
really?
I think it's worse because like there are size 0 women that exist in the world that are naturally very thin, and that's how they look, and that's like the ideal model type. But there might be 1 or 2, but like there really isn't a plus size woman that's shaped like that without some help in the wild most of the time. And that's changing a little bit, but I kind of think like it started out with good intentions, and then like commercialism and like tokenism and everything else got involved, and like it's been diluted a lot. And like now, and for the first time in my life, after growing up in our little town filled with vegetarians, I've always been like the biggest person in the world. Like all my friends are literally less than half of my weight. And then I go to New York, and everyone's like, "You're so small. What are you doing here?" I'm like, I can't fucking win. Won't someone accept me into your community, please? It's so frustrating.
I've heard that said too about even just like the I don't know, this is a taboo subject, but the color of people's skin.
Oh, for sure.
If they have mixed parents, they're like, they kind of fall outside of both cultures.
And like, not that I can speak to this, but from what I've heard from my friends who are mixed ethnicity is that, you know, they feel like they're often not enough of one of the other to fit into either of those boxes. And I'm kind of the same way with size, where like, I'm not plus size enough to be plus size, but like, good luck trying to fit me into a 0. Like, I'm a big person, you know, like.
Well, like we were talking off camera too about just being like Hollywood is typecast.
Oh yeah.
And there's that guy who always plays the Pope, and there's the person who's always funny. There's always an Adam Sandler movie, or there's this, and it's like, how do you break out of that?
Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman.
Wait.
Isn't that such a good example? I just came up with that off the top of my head. I just thought of that. Good job, self.
That's good. Who else though?
I'm trying to think of one other person. Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Total deviation from his normal thing. And now he's deviated from like reality. So like it's just a whole other even different thing, you know?
And wasn't he like the Sonic the such and such in that Marvel?
Oh, was he in a Marvel movie?
He was like in a cartoon, Sonic the Hedgehog.
He came into Top of the Rock when I worked there, and he tipped me $100, and he told me I was pretty, and it kind of made my whole day. And the cops came up into the kitchen and were in the back like hiding because they were afraid someone was gonna try to like get to him. The security was off the chart. It was crazy.
Yeah, actually, when he rolled through, I was working at MIU, and so I was kind of like behind the scenes technician for some of the, because we were setting up lights and doing some photo shoots, and actually, so he spoke to one of the classes in the dome, and so I was tasked with like getting photos.
Oh, did you do the film on that like famous speech he made?
I was one of the cameras, yeah.
Oh shit, that's awesome. The commencement speech, that's been like viral all over the place, and I'm like, do you understand that's my little hometown?
I know.
Where they filmed that? That's so cool.
It was super cool, and you know, it's super fun shooting an event like that because there was so much planning that went into it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All the cameras, and you know, it was a live broadcast, so it was the first time I got the little walkie headset, and they're like, cutting to camera C, like,
that's
yeah,
so
you're live in 5, 4, 3, you know.
That just makes me think of Miscongeniality for some reason. You're just like, or like, I don't know, the CIA. You're like, coming in.
But, so there's a funny follow-up to that story of taking photos, which was they all sucked. And his publicist was like, we can't use any of these.
Oh, no.
And it's okay.
That's awful.
It was one of those impromptu things where like the school didn't have flash photography, which I was actually responsible for buying, but we didn't. But I didn't have a flash, and the lighting sucked in there, and we just couldn't get like a good.
How warm was that lighting from 1 to 10?
It was very warm.
It was
beige,
gold. It was just
beigey.
gold and beige and reflecting off of all the foam and all of the white pajama pants.
Yeah, it was, but he was so nice. He was such a fun...
He's so cool. I love him.
But his guards were like, 6'6", like stacked. Hot. Like,
yeah, where are they?
They were hot.
Where are they? I love me a bodyguard. I would love one.
But they were like, and also what was so funny is like, well, it was impressive, is they were so jacked, but their suits were like so trim looking, like they had just like the.
You really trying to like get this? Like this is working for me right now.
I mean,
you're really painting a picture.
I'm trying to paint a picture.
It's getting a little warm in here.
But I was just.
He's like, they're so ripped and they're so big and their suits fit so well.
I was just all right. Jesus Christ.
These are LA bodyguards. This is what this sounds like.
It's impressive.
They like moonlight as models.
Wait, but I want you to tell me your experience for waiting Jim Carrey's table.
He was with a group of people, and I didn't get to talk to him much, but he did like give me a compliment. It was really sweet. He ordered a burger.
That is so cool.
He told his like manager or whatever to give me 100, so they gave me like 100 as a tip, which was way more than anyone else tipped me at Top of the Rock for sure. I was making $2.15 an hour at the time.
I believe it. Yeah.
But I don't have a ton to say about it, but he was just like really, really kind and just like seemed very down to earth and cool, and I'm a big fan. And I mean, like seeing him, Eternal Sunshine is one of my favorite movies, and like growing up watching him in The Mask and like wanting to be Cameron Diaz in that movie, so strong. I just rewatched that and I was just like, I want to do that. And just seeing him then transition to like a more serious role and how good he is, and like I don't know, like what you were saying, people get typecast and we don't get to see their full range. And I love like something like Barry. Have you watched that on HBO that just came out? Like now I can't think of his name, but the main guy who's like the SNL guy, he really like goes deep into some of his shit on that show. And it's really, really nice and great to watch.
What's the subject matter?
Barry's about like a hitman that like goes to LA and gets the actor bug. It's a really dark comedy. It's really funny, but also has some like serious moments. You'd like it. It's really fun.
I'll definitely check it out. Yeah. I haven't, I'm a little cash on TV shows at the moment, unfortunately.
I told you, I've been rewatching Game of Thrones. Me too. Like I'm kind of out of ideas. Like, I watched Bridgerton. Now what else? Like what else do we got?
I kind of fell into MasterChef with Gordon Ramsay, and then after that it was Shark Tank. I've been kind of big on Shark Tank.
You're big on Shark Tank?
Yeah.
I've been trying to get the company I work for to go on Shark Tank, but...
Where do you work?
Maybe. I am the CAO of Brassybra.
What makes a Brassybra?
It's a boob tape company. So like an adhesive, it's basically like a Band-Aid for your tits, essentially, and it's waterproof, and it makes like, I just got to show you a photo to
Please. Wait, so, but in theory, right, like you don't need the strap. So if you're
you don't need a strap. It's for like when women, especially busty women, want to wear like something that plunges down really low, or like backless, so you don't want to see the bra straps or something. It's pretty brilliant. My boss invented it for her wedding day because she wore duct tape to her wedding, and then like on her wedding night had like a horrific reaction and had to like get it off, and it was really painful. And
see, that's a perfect Shark Tank.
I think so. We've been trying to get them to go on Shark Tank.
And then who could you get? I'm not the biggest fan of Lori.
I've never really watched much of it, so I think I know who Lori is. I'm trying to find this one very dramatic photo.
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to Mark Cuban.
You did? Oh, nice. Yeah. That's a no-no.
That's a no-no on your skin. No, we don't do that. Yeah, I started out modeling for them, and then I was like, hi, do you want to hire me to do something? And then they hired me to do customer service, and then I kind of worked my way up.
But so, like, a lot of your posts, like, you're taking your own photos, doing your own video, which is super impressive to me.
Oh, thank you. I'm not very good at it like you are, but
no,
I try my best. I'm getting better at video editing, though. I am.
What's the secret of taking a good photo?
Lighting.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Is that the right answer? That's my right answer, but...
Indoor, outdoor, hot
But I mean,
tub.
like, you can take a really great iPhone photo if the lighting... Like, if you're at, like, golden hour or, like... Actually, one of the best things about living in Brooklyn is that all of the roofs are coated in that silver metallic paint.
Oh, so you get
it's
that
like a reflector. Like, it's the most flattering lighting in the world. So get a reflector.
Nice.
What's your secret to taking a good photo? You actually know about this. I don't.
So I don't usually do artificial light.
Okay.
And I don't really know much about flash photography, to be honest with you, because I usually I try to find it in the wild, whatever it is.
Right.
And I guess my shots are a little bit more film photography inspired. So
we should do a shoot.
That'd be super fun.
If you want to do like a fashion shoot, I don't know. Or like something like really dramatic and morose. I'm really good at that too. We could do either of those. Those are my two options. We can do something sexy fashion-y or something really sad. Those are your two choices.
I love it. That's great. It's interesting. It's just a different it's a different style because, you know, you only have so many shots in the camera. And then there's kind of a whole movement that kind of strays away from doing Photoshop, which I really appreciate. Especially when it comes to just capturing someone's authenticity, and it's just a little more rugged. And I like the history of cameras and how old they are. So I have like a small collection of cameras over there, and like it's fun. And the one that I started out with was my grandfather's.
Oh, that's
doesn't
really
work
sweet.
anymore, but
I think it's really cool to learn it, like how people were just like, what if we like put light into this box, and then like I don't know how to talk about how the camera was invented, but it's fucking impressive. Like they just figured it out.
It is.
And like now with so much technology, like you're saying with Photoshop, like it's like too much. It's like just not, it's completely devoid from reality, like we said earlier. It's really far away.
I know. Well, the whole editing on a phone thing, I'm still a little miffed. Like I just don't know how to do it technically. I'm kind of a dummy when it comes to my smartphone. But
oh, well, I mean, I might be able to help a little bit, although you probably know how to, you definitely know how to do way more things than I do.
I don't know, but like doing it on the fly too, like, I don't know if you're traveling and all you have is a phone.
Mm-hmm. I do that all the time.
Or like if you're doing shoots and you have to wait for hours and you're getting all this makeup and stuff, do you do like little behind the scenes? You do? If
I have time. I mean, I don't always... because sometimes like when you're in hair and makeup, like your eyes are half closed and they're just like poking you and trying not to burn you with hot curling irons. But yeah, I definitely always try to get some behind the scenes, if only just to be like, see, I'm doing it. I'm kind of doing it. See guys, look at me. I did it. I got paid to do a thing every once in a while.
It's for real. I promise you.
It's for real. People are just like, yeah, okay. Yeah.
But so most of this though is like totally remote.
Yeah, these days, yeah. I mean, whenever I book a shoot, I go back to New York, and then like I'm back here for a while, and I'm debating about maybe going to LA for a while because I can't
don't
work.
Leave us.
I know, I don't want to, but I can work a lot more in a big city, but then I'm also like, do I want to?
Sucks.
I mean, New York
Do you
sucks
like
in
LA?
some ways too. I think I like New York better people-wise. The weather and the lifestyle in LA is much better than it is in New York.
True.
Like New York, you're like shoved into the subway like a little cockroach. It's intense.
Well, are prices coming down in California? Because I feel like people no, they're just going up.
The prices are in here are insane. I don't want to rent a house here. It's just like I'm just living in my dad's basement for a while because it's empty and like why not? You know, there's an apartment down there.
I'm living with my mom, so it's also a basement. So
look, hey, I'm past the point in life where I'm like anything's gonna happen on a specific schedule, and like my ego is gonna be like, no, I'm doing this because I'm an adult. I'm just kind of like, well, my life kind of fell apart, so like. I'm working, I'm paying my bills, whatever works.
I know. It's like, yeah, I just want to be able to pay, like to afford my bills.
Exactly. Like, I just want to not kill myself working. Like, if I could just be like only really stressed out all the time. Like, I don't want to be dead. I just want to be like mostly alive and to try to save a little bit of money so that maybe someday I can afford
a plot of land
or a trailer. Because now it's like, now the housing, even around here, the housing market is insane.
It's so insane. You know, actually someone did list their trailer the other day here in Fairfield. It's like $70,000.
For a double, like an amazing double wide or what?
No. It's just like a shoddy one.
You can buy a trailer for $11,000. That's insane.
Yeah. And I think you have to move it off the property too.
Well, that's really depressing. I just saw something on like the Fairfield Facebook group for like rentals or something, and it was like $1,000 a month for a small house, and $1,000 a month is what I paid in Manhattan for a room in a decent sized apartment.
One other roommate.
I had one other roommate. It was a 2-bedroom. The rent was $2,500. This was 9 years ago, but still, like, I know. Fairfield's not Manhattan.
It's like
I'm not paying New York prices here. I'm not doing that. Or like some of the restaurants that are opening up, I'm just like, $15 for a really small salad. I feel like I'm somewhere else that's not Fairfield.
We could definitely riff on that a little bit. I just don't eat out very much.
Because it's just a waste of money most of the time.
I know. I actually feel like I'm getting ripped off every time. Except, sorry, other restaurants.
I mean, I totally support people going into business around here, but it's hard when the prices are like, when you're not getting much for like a lot.
Gosh, like, I don't know. Everything's so expensive right now, including building materials and like
everything,
all the things that I do. So I'm just like,
I know.
I'm just chilling out at home.
I'm doing a lot of that myself.
Key.
Yeah, just cooking my food. I love to support the local restaurants, and I don't mean to shit on them, but like the prices are like very comparable to much bigger cities, and sometimes that doesn't always feel appropriate. But when you're a small business in a place like this and you have to ship everything in and your overhead's high, like you got to do what you got to do. So I get it. I know,
100%.
And the cost of everything is astronomical now. It's just really scary. I need a raise.
Yeah. There's definitely trade-offs living in a small town. You know, I know, because we grew up here. Yeah, it's like, we used to have a movie theater here.
I know.
You know.
Maybe you should open a movie theater here.
You're
the movie guy. You're the film guy.
It would be really cool.
It's right there. Isn't the projector just sitting there? Isn't there like a screen just sitting there?
I know, but low key, they like totally ruined the theaters. Can we just like acknowledge that just a little bit? They like put a really terrible stage where like the screen was.
Oh, I haven't been in there in a while.
It's like they still have the screen, but it got like super awkward. They used to have like a whole cool little balcony thing, and that got taken away.
Oh, they got rid of the balcony?
I don't know. I think the rooms changed like substantially.
I haven't been in there in like maybe 6 or 7 years, but I feel like I actually remember exactly when I was there because I was watching a burlesque show and it was really hot in there and I was wearing a dress that showed sweat marks, and so I was just sitting there trying not to get a giant like swamp ass mark on my skirt the whole time. So that's why I remember. But I was up in the balcony, so that's all I know about the theater. But that's what I remember. It was awful.
I remember going to see like El Dorado animated. It was like a parent chaperoned like my first date.
Oh, that's so cute.
I was in 6th grade. Isn't that hilarious?
So cute.
Yeah.
Oh, who was your first date with?
Laura Tarnoff.
Oh, shout out to Laura Tarnoff. What's up, Laura?
Oh man, what was your first date?
My first date, if you could call it that, was probably with this FHS kid named Justin Brown who I asked out in front of all of my friends, which honestly props to me for being an insecure little 8th grade girl and asking him out. But yeah, didn't last.
Yeah.
I think I had like a brief internet relationship before that, but like because I am who I am, I like asked my mom permission and then she said no and then we like broke up.
Was it like AOL Messenger?
Yeah.
Was it
Or
really?
like it was what's the other MSN? It was MSN.
MSN.
Yeah. We were like, you know, with the little asterisk like kisses you, you know, like remember that whole
I do.
that whole
I
language?
completely forgot
Or people
about
like being
that.
like ASL, you know?
There was MySpace, and that was back when people had like email accounts with Hotmail.
Oh, I still have a Hotmail account.
You do?
This is the problem. My YouTube account is still linked to my old Hotmail account from college. And I can't unlink it because in order to do that, you have to do it with the Gmail account. But it's linked to a Hotmail account. And so every time it just like reroutes the pattern back to Google. And I can't, I'm having major problems with my YouTube account. That's the long and short of that.
I think I'm sharing my Hulu account with someone across the world because like every other night, like I get these emails like, was this you? Like from such and such? I was like, no.
Do you change your password?
I did all of that. And I like did the 2-step verification thing. It's a total
Someone's
mystery.
got you hacked. They're just watching you live your whole life through your little...
It's a little scary. They're
your
like,
phone.
This guy likes no,
Exactly where my mind went. Oops. Yeah, you can get to know me real quick. What does it mean when the little dot's up here, though? Like, have you seen that on your phone? It freaks me out because I've heard that
we
it's like
both have
recording.
iPhones. Oh,
Yeah.
but it's like a dot.
It's sometimes yellow and it's sometimes green.
Well,
And, like,
it's definitely like we're going to get paid ads next time we flip through our phones.
Oh, for sure.
Over the conversation we just had.
Well,
about
if you're on
gardening
a
supplies.
laptop, I actually know a little bit about this because I'm trying. Now I'm on the other side of it, where I'm trying to be an advertiser, and with the new iOS 14 updates, you can't like track people really at all anymore on their phone, but you can on their laptop. So anytime I Google something on my laptop, then I get all the ads for it on Facebook.
Oh,
But
shifty.
I know.
But sorry, you mentioned your YouTube channel. I feel like we should shout out your YouTube channel.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Follow me on YouTube. It's Meara Rose, Meara Rose, on all the social platforms.
You have some super funny videos.
Oh, thank you.
On there.
I tried to be like a funny YouTuber for a little bit. Didn't work out.
I mean, it's hilarious.
Thank you.
Like, you could keep doing that. It would probably grow.
I mean, I'm trying. That's what I thought. This is my like new. So I'm trying to come up with my new niche, right? I'm trying to come up with my new brand for Instagram because I don't want to just be like another Insta-ho, you know? Like that's what I've kind of turned into. We spoke about this briefly off camera because I started out doing kind of like eating disorder recovery, like self-love, show your cellulite, love your body, which shows some skin. Then when you start showing some skin, then like more dudes follow you. A lot of them are creepy. Then you kind of get into this like, oh, lingerie companies want to work with me because I'm comfortable showing skin. And then only the lingerie companies want to work with me. And now, oops, I'm only working with lingerie companies. And now my whole page is lingerie. And I'm kind of, it looks like, if I were to look at my page, I wouldn't follow me because I'd just be like, it's just another girl taking photos in lingerie. Like whatever, you know? But meanwhile, I like manage a startup and I'm a classical pianist and I have somewhat of a personality. Like I'd love to share more of that. But when I do, they don't really do very well because the algorithm is kind of like put me into this little box. So I'm trying to think of how I'm going to like claw my way out. That's like my latest assignment for myself.
I love it. Wait, so would it consist of starting a new channel
So never start a new channel. This is the thing. I built this audience. It's still there. I don't want to throw that away.
No, of course not.
But it does. What sucks is that when I do experiment and I post something that's like risky and nobody really cares, then it looks like I bought followers because it's like, why does she post this video?
Getting, like,
She's
no
getting 200
engagement.
likes and then like she has all these followers. Like this looks fake, you know? So it makes me look bad. That's why I haven't done more of it because I don't want, like this is a part of my job. Like I don't want to lose brand deals because people think that like I'm not legit, you know? So that's really frustrating. And then like because like things just snowball because like when a certain amount of creepy dudes follow you, then they share it with their creepy dude friends and then like you grow in this like creepy dude universe. And like I'm trying to break out of the box, but like they don't care about my personality. It sucks, you know?
Yeah, it does suck.
Only a few of the diehard fans are always like, yes, everything you do. Like I'll like post something where I'm like, and they're like, you're so beautiful. And I, you know, it's those are the great fans, but that doesn't happen very often.
I mean, I think it's awesome what you're doing on there. And it sucks feeling like you painted yourself into a corner.
I did, yeah.
I hate algorithms. It's not that you did. It sounds like more like the algorithm. Maybe it's like a fundamental like baseline human thing.
Well, they need to categorize the vast amount of content some way. So I get it. They want like, and if you like, you know, girls in lingerie, obviously there's a certain audience for that, and it's not the audience I necessarily want. But like, that's how that comes about. Just like how if I'm looking for like great musicians or like comedians that I like to follow, that's good, because then the algorithm recommends more things to me, which, so in theory, it's great. It just doesn't leave a lot of room for like diversity or growth. Like a lot of the people that I followed 8 years ago are still doing the same exact thing, like formulaic as they've been doing. And like, personally, I just feel like I get sick of being like a broken record. Like I'm sick of being like, love yourself no matter what. Like I've gotten to a point where I'm just kind of like, I'm pretty neutral about it. Like I've got some pros, I've got some cons. I'm getting older. That's kind of intense and weird as a woman, but like, I'm kind of like whatever about it. I'm sick of talking about it. Like, let's talk about something else, you know, like let's talk about like, or not necessarily like right now, but I just mean, you know, I want to start a broader conversation that then is hard because people are following me for one very specific thing that for some reason they seem to want to see over and over and over and over again. And it gets very repetitive.
I believe it. Well, so is there a certain allocation that you give yourself on the one account where you're like, okay, maybe I can experiment like every 10th time?
I'm just like in fuck it mode now, to be honest with you. I'm just like, fuck it.
Just like let it rip?
Because I only have like one consistent client left. And then I have a few people I work with, you know, but a lot now also the part of the problem is that like, it's just so oversaturated. There's so much competition that like no one's able to necessarily hold on to the same amount of deals that we were able to a few years ago. And so I feel more like less at risk, you know, like my livelihood is less at risk now that I have like a full-time job and I can kind of experiment more. It's just more of like, it's a lot of work for no one to care too. That's what sucks, but I just have to get over the hump. So that's the bottom line.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely the good fight.
I mean, I've got some ideas. I'm working on it. I don't know if you saw my little mini music video that I made about PMS, but I had a lot of fun doing that and it was pretty popular. So
wait, was that like just recently? Maybe I did see
that was recently. It's like there's a lot of slow-mo. There's a lot of like...
Was it a reel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I had a lot of wigs on. It was extremely... It was monumentally unflattering. You can watch it right now.
But it's like super fun?
It's really fun. I wrote a song. I produced a song and then I produced a music video.
Oh my God. You actually produced the song though.
I mean... Yeah. I mean, I did, but I wouldn't call it produced, really. Oh, there's no internet connection for some reason.
Oh,
so
that's all right. We'll do it some other time.
I'll show you another time.
People will just have to go check it out for themselves.
I just wanted to see the look on your face when I showed you the ugliest part, but it's okay. It's all good.
Weren't you doing a series of like shit people say or something?
I did that with a lot of friends in town. My brother's that he did for me is one of the best things I've ever seen in my whole life. He takes out a piece of sheet music and he goes, I can read sheet music with my heart. That's so good. He's the funny one. He's awesome. You should have him on.
That would be fun. You had that post where he like did your makeup, which is like the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
The horns on my cheekbones. That he was trying to do winged eyeliner. I'm like, bro, why are you on my cheekbones? My eyes are up here.
That's great.
It was fun. I like doing his makeup too. I've been doing that since he was little though. Safe for women, even safe for brothers.
I got to be a woman for a day, Halloween, several years ago.
Better be careful saying that.
that'll make the...
And I'm out. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye, guys. Canceled.
That's my cue.
No, I went as a Playboy bunny. I was so hot, dude.
I bet you got like so many free drinks.
Actually, someone grabbed my ass. And I got to experience what that was like for women.
Was it a friend of yours?
It was.
Yeah.
So maybe
I don't know whether that makes it better or worse.
They were being,
They were being inappropriate.
Yeah, very inappropriate.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I've gotten groped several times, but it's only in really public places where when I turn around, I can't tell who it is. And it's like the most infuriating fucking thing.
Well, yeah, it's like if you're scooting through a club and it's like shoulder to shoulder and someone's like,
that's always when it
just
happens.
Cop a feel. Yeah. That's gross.
Fuck
God, people are so gross and stupid.
Women don't do that.
They don't, do they?
This is a strictly guy thing, unfortunately. God. So in this instance,
we're so stupid.
Sometimes guys suck. I mean, women suck too sometimes, but in this instance,
yeah, that is like so not okay.
It's really not. It makes you feel really unsafe, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's these times too where like if I'm walking out of a Walmart and like some lady's like just a few steps in front of me, I'll have to be like ooh, doo, 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 and like actually kill like 20 seconds so I'm not like just creepily walking behind them.
Well, thank you for doing that.
You're welcome, but take a note, guys, because this is like what you have to do, right? There's a certain amount of space, and you know, like if you're just in a public place,
Yeah.
don't stalk
Give
the
some
lady.
space.
Little space.
Little space. Space
6
is
feet.
good.
Wear a mask.
Oh God. And we've gone. And now we're done again. Goodbye. Social distancing from men. I'm doing a social distancing from men only.
Oh, that's great. Oh man.
Dave Chappelle has that great bit about or I think it's Dave Chappelle, like about like walking around with all that money in the backpack and being like feeling so terrified the whole time that like someone was gonna like jump him and take it. And he's like, this is what feeling like a woman feels like all the time. And I'm like, wow, that's a really good analogy, and it's totally true. You have something that not everyone, but a lot of people want, and that can just take it if they want to a lot of the time. It's really scary that like at any point, yeah, I'll put up a fight. My brother's always like, I feel bad for anyone that attacks you. You're so fucking annoying. But like, I mean,
only a brother can say that.
Only a brother can say that, of course. He means it with love, of course. But like at any point, like, you know, you walk into a room with men you don't know, you always have to be on guard, because at any time it could be guys that you know that can just like rape and kill you. Like it happens all the time. And then now we won't even be able to like go get an abortion when that happens, which is so like, I don't even want to get into all of that, but like it sucks.
I know. It was interesting because I was talking to a few of the Iowa State representatives here in the general area, Republicans, and like I'm sure I'm getting canceled. That's all right, whatever. But I was just letting them do their thing and just say what they're about. And it's crazy because there's like this Republican message is like really advocating for freedom, personal freedom, right? And these guys also really hate vaccine mandates.
Exactly.
So they're like, yeah, your body, your choice. And then they're like, well,
unless it's a woman.
Unless it's
not
a
for
woman.
you.
Not for you. Yeah.
You're not a whole person. It's like, if I'm not a whole person, I'm not paying taxes anymore. I'm not fucking cleaning up after myself anymore. Like you deal with the abortion shit. If you're the whole person and I'm half of a person, I have less bodily autonomy than a fucking corpse. You can't take my heart without my permission on my driver's license, but you can make me have a baby by someone who raped me against my will. I can't even put into words how crazy and angry it makes me. And I don't want to get really dark, but like I could scream and cry about that all day because it's so unfair and it's completely sexist. And it affects men to the extent that you might be sued to pay child support. But I know so many people, it's a very small amount. And I know so many people that go after men for years for child support and never get it. Like, I know that it's hard to be a father and everything, but like in terms of like having the baby and deciding to go through and have a baby, it's on women. And like
100%.
It's complete hypocrisy.
And I brought it up and it's like, well, this is a philosophical discussion now. I'm like, why?
Because people say like we're discussing when life starts, and they're claiming that life starts at conception. I don't believe that, but
you know, it's tough because
but even if that was true, it's still life that's in my body.
Yeah,
it's in
yours.
my body.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to take care of it, that's the other thing that everyone's talking about is like they'll force you to have it, but then you're on your own, baby. Like, you know, like minimum wage, like proportionally is like less than it was in the Great Depression now, you know, if you do the math with you know, inflation and everything. And like we'll like make you have a baby, and then like how are we supposed to pay for childcare? How are we supposed to work while we're pregnant or postpartum or taking care of it? You know, like how do we do any of this? Like there's no answers.
Yeah, it's so true. It's frustrating.
Basically Republicans are super hypocritical, and so are people that are really far left. So it's like everyone's a hypocrite.
Here's a thought that I had, which these people aren't going away.
Who, like Republican lawmakers?
Just like people on both sides of this argument.
Yeah.
These guys could get elected again, which means like, how are we going to work with them and make it better, you know?
Well, I understand your point of like wanting to start the conversation too, like, because nobody's going anywhere. We must find common ground. Otherwise, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse till we have civil war or something like.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch some of these episodes I put out, I mean, they're terribly contradictory. There is no logical through line. Like it's like, well, I was kind of raised like this, and it dictates this and that. And
I like your Republican voice.
And
it's
guns.
Slightly southern, and it's got a little bit of a drawl to it.
That's great. But, you know, isn't it funny that ultimately what it boils down to is just like someone's belief?
Yeah.
Which makes me feel, and this is a little scary for me, is because I feel like this is why we're going to merge with the robot. Because like beliefs will no longer play a part at some point in the future.
We'll always be biased if we're human. We'll always be biased. I mean, unless we eradicate the human race and try to put our consciousness into a computer, which, hey, who knows? Crazier things have happened. But I think it's human to be biased because of like love, really, at the end of the day. Like, if my family was starving and I had a certain amount of food, would it be fair for me to share with everyone? Yeah. Would I always prioritize my dad and brother? 100%. And that's why bias exists, because of love.
Yeah. So I think, you got a really good point there.
I don't know. Like I'm just like, I don't fucking know. That's how most people feel. I feel like most people are kind of in the middle, and most of us are just watching the really insane people on either side of the spectrum going insane, just screaming. And all of us are just like, this is getting worse. What are we doing? We're in 2022. We're arguing about women's ability to have a contraception. It's like, why do you care what I do? It's none of your business what I do. I mean, law, then that affects all of us. So that's something different. But like, even just culturally, like what's accepted to even just say or do online or anything now, it's really divisive. And it's just kind of like, why are you policing the way that I construct this sentence? And I see some of that in like the plus size world on Instagram. Like I kind of started out in that realm, and then I've kind of been like pushed to the outskirts just because it gets really cancel-y, and like I'm not really wanted there. And I do support that movement, and I think everyone has the right to feel beautiful and to pursue health or not pursue health, pursue whatever they want to pursue and feel good about it in whatever body that they have. But I wasn't always treated very well for wanting to kind of support that, and just kind of more accused of like trying to center myself or trying to be a part of that. And it sucks because when you feel like you've got it better than some people and you've got it worse than some other people, but still like there's always going to be someone that's like, you aren't entitled to tell this story, you know? It sucks.
Yeah.
It kind of just makes me like, I don't want to argue with anyone, and I don't want to center myself, but I would like to tell my story for those people that it helps, which there are plenty of women that have starved themselves and really struggled with this. Like, and it affects every aspect of my day. Like, I think about what I would have been like in college if I hadn't been like forcing myself to have 1,200 calories a day. I was hungry constantly. I was constantly just staring at the clock, waiting until I would like let myself eat again. So it changed my whole life to be able to just let go of a lot of that. And I think a lot of women relate to that. That's kind of why I wanted to do this. But now the way that the internet works and the way that, you know, inflammation on the internet works, like I'm not really even kind of part of that community anymore. I've kind of been pushed to the outskirts. I'm in like a weird little in between now. But then I started using the term mid-size, and now that's discriminatory, and we're not supposed to use that anymore because it's exclusionary of plus size people. But it's like, so you don't want us to be a part of the plus size community, even though we literally shop at the same store. But if I use something that's more specific to the niche I'm trying to reach, then I'm excluding you, and then that's also not okay. So I just should not exist. That's what I've learned, is I should just not exist anymore.
No, the world
like, isn't
needs
there a
you,
place?
Meara.
Isn't there a place for all of us? Like, why can't we find a way to like communicate together? Because I feel like I'm willing to validate your side of the story. Why aren't you willing to validate mine? Why aren't you willing to hear my story? I'm a human with struggles and you know, and also triumphs too, like, and lots of things to be grateful for and lots of hardships too, just like everyone, you know. Why can't we find a way to compromise and figure out a way that makes us both feel good? People do it all the time. Like,
it's so true.
Why?
Well, there's this whole internet persona that kind of takes away the
it's branding, like we were talking about.
Yeah, because like in person, I mean, just people wouldn't be caught dead saying the things that they say online.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
On Twitter,
I feel like people kind of forgot what it was like to just be like a genuinely good person. Like you wouldn't be like this mean person in front of someone, or like, it's funny because people will watch this episode on YouTube and they'll have the internet experience of it. But like you and me, we're just here in the studio. This is a live conversation and we're friends, but we're just talking. We're just, you know.
That's how we figure things out. We just level with one another.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, as soon as I post this online, then I'm just trying to be like cool.
Or what are the other 1,000 things that they could accuse you of? Like, and what's funny is sometimes people that are attacking other people online they think that they are being good people. That's the scary thing, is they think that by like tearing another person down because they said one thing that you don't agree with, or they might not have even have said it. It might have just been a supercut that was edited in a certain way to make them look a certain way. That's the really scary thing.
Yeah.
To assault their entire character, you're right. They would never do that in person. It's a strictly internet thing, but like people are hiding behind the screen and it emboldens them. But then it kind of dehumanizes you in a way too. Like I can't imagine that anyone that's sitting around fighting on Twitter all day is a happy person.
Are you on Twitter too?
A little bit, but I mostly just post like really sarcastic, weird shit, and no one likes anything.
I hesitate to bring up Elon Musk again, but you know, he was going to buy Twitter. Now he's
isn't he like on the fence about it now?
Yeah, he's like bargaining.
He's like, I don't know, like I might have too much money for this. Is it worth it to own the whole like company of Twitter?
Yeah. But his bargaining chip right now is that they swear that there's only 5% bots on their site. And he's like,
yeah,
no.
right. There's bots everywhere.
Yeah.
Are you getting the weird ads on Instagram that are like just for people?
Oh, no. I don't know.
There's definitely some weird AI, A/B testing that's going on right now. Like,
really?
For sure. I look at these pages and I'm like, this is absolutely fake. And why am I seeing an ad for it? Like, they're seeing if they're testing to see if they can get me to click on it. And it's so weird that I did click on it. I'm like, why is this dude Carlos have his hoodie up to his face? And I go to his page and it's like, he's just a dude with like 100 followers. It's like, why are you taking out an ad for the photo you've posted 10 times?
And
he's a bot.
Yeah, right. He's a bot.
He's bot.
Generated. Robots they can totally fabricate.
There's robot models now that have millions of followers.
That's insane.
Yeah. Like, we're going to get to a point where, like, people can't even, like, be around real people anymore. Yeah. It's really scary.
Well, they're going to take your job, right?
They already are. It's in process.
Dude.
My page hasn't grown for a couple years now. And
Really?
It was growing fast for a while. And it's been stuck at 265 for a long time.
Really?
Yeah. And I have the same amount of engagement now as I did when I had 20,000 followers.
So the math isn't checking out.
It's the algorithm.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wait, do you think, if you had to venture a guess, how many bots do you think are on Instagram, percentage-wise?
I mean, I'm not an expert on this, but I would probably say it's probably higher, like 10, 15, 20%.
God,
I would imagine. Because I think that I'm sure that they're doing things to manipulate the algorithm. And also they're trying to make money. So like they make it harder for businesses to reach out organically. And then like any of the bigger influencers too, like they make it harder for you to reach out because they're trying to make you spend money on ad sales. And then don't even get me started on the censorship against women. I guess this episode's going to be like about women, but like they won't like I work for a verified company that Facebook wrote a business success article about. Were published on the Facebook website or Meta website, being like, Brassybra used their Facebook page to go viral and sell and blah 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 blah, and like gain notoriety. And when we try to post ads, what happens? Even when they're very censored and covered up, nope, can't post it. Adult content because it's related to boobs.
Wow.
Yeah, like they will not take our money for. I've like. We just have some new ads that are running now. But for the last year, I've just been fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. They've threatened to take our account away. They won't let me post 80% of the ads. And I'm being really careful to follow every single rule to a T. But Fenty Lingerie, Victoria's Secret, they're using smaller women. So that might be a factor because that people have like a conspiracy theory that like when you're, and I think that it might be true that like when you're in a bigger body, the algorithm will pick up more skin when you show more skin, and then therefore it'll be like they're naked, like don't promote this, and like TikTok just came out with a whole new update where they're like, we will not promote any lingerie, striptease, and anything like that. It won't go on the For You page. And if it's a private company, and I get if they want to not have certain kinds of content, but this is what I've been saying all along is like, why are my posts being limited? Because I'm trying to share lingerie with women that want to buy lingerie that were maybe too shy to wear lingerie before, and this is empowering for all of us. But then all these guys can send me dick pics and send me the most disgusting messages you've ever read in your life.
Jeez.
And I can report them and they won't do anything. So like they're abusing me, but I'm not allowed to just be in my body.
Yeah,
even though I'm following every rule. Like, it's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
It's really anti-women.
So, like, you can't even free the censored nipple.
No, you can't. But like there was this whole experiment with a couple of models that I know that are both non-binary. So I want to make sure I use the right pronouns here. But like they both what they did is they put a biologically male nipple over a biologically female nipple and posted it, and then they were like, "This is okay," but then hers isn't. You know?
Wow. Yeah.
Like,
right.
What?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
I don't get it. But then if you have enough money to, like, if you're a huge corporation, their ads seem to do okay.
Right.
But
yeah, it's sort of a pay-to-play sort of thing.
I guess. But it's so infuriating when you're like a small upstart and you're doing all the right things and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and then to be limited by bias from a corporation when you're following their rules and you want to give them their money. Like, it's like, what do you want from me? Take my money. Why don't you want my money? My money's good too. With all the different small creators out there, like, that would still amount to something.
Absolutely.
You know?
Well, this is why, like, Joe Rogan went to Spotify.
Of course, yeah.
YouTube, I mean, they were pulling all kinds of ad revenue and demonetizing videos for zero explanation.
Oh, yeah.
And
they can do it anytime they want. They take my shit down every day, all the time. They just take it down.
Yeah.
No explanation.
I, like, do not want to live in that world.
No.
That's
the world we live in.
Yeah.
Where censorship is everywhere. And even if you follow the rules, if you don't do it, like, it's just crazy. Like,
yeah. Well, some of these social media sites too, I mean, a lot of people advocate for them being as important as utilities like water, internet. Maybe people like Elon Musk can save them from the treachery of censorship and all this other stuff.
But then we'll just be under his bias
I know,
too. That's what sucks.
Then we're
like,
just gonna be,
maybe it'll be better, but like,
I know. I'm not trying to glorify Elon Musk, but like, I think something needs to be done about it. But
absolutely.
Like what?
I mean, they need to be broken up or something. Like, because
well, they're crazy monopolies, that's for sure.
In 10 years, we're going to be like, what state do you live in? I either live in Google, Meta, or Amazon. Those are the 3 states that you live in because they own everything and everyone.
Damn. Speaking of algorithms, this is something I miss about like Family Video and like rental stores. Is because an algorithm wasn't fucking with you to like. Sometimes the algorithm is good. Okay, I'm gonna say that right off the bat, which is like, yeah, if you're into a certain subject,
yeah,
you want
especially
to learn more,
a subgenre, then it can be really nice sometimes.
Super cool. And then it's like, okay, like how to weed a garden, the blah 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 blah. Here's all the tools. And
you're really on the gardening today.
Yeah, I know, gardening and landscaping. Like if it wasn't raining today, I'd be doing it.
It's on your mind.
Yeah. So what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So sometimes it's nice when it generates a list of things that it thinks you're going to like. But I also like just meandering around the aisles and seeing if anything pops out at me. Like I'm in control of that experience, not someone or something else.
Well, your subconscious bias is probably in control of it because it's probably for all of us.
Yeah,
but like we are more than what the algorithm perceives us to be. It might get our top couple of things, but there's a whole lot of nuance that it doesn't touch, of course.
Yeah. So it's like, if you go to a friend's house and you're like, oh, what should we watch on Netflix? And it's like theirs is like a completely different reality than yours. You're like, wow, you're really into true crime, aren't you?
I know. It's always like, ooh, with the reality dating shows. Oh. I feel like all the celebrities are really starting to like look alike and like, all the beauty filters. And I think you touched on this with Taylor.
We did
and like all of, like everyone's really trying to look alike now. There's just like, I don't know. I feel like variety is less popular than it's ever been but we have the most at our fingertips that we've ever had. We have a computer in our pocket that we can answer any question in the world that an answer exists for. And yet it's weird because it's like that much choice has actually limited us.
Yeah.
It's had like the inverse effect. It's
funny to watch commercials nowadays too because they're like, oh, they like, here's the token so-and-so person. I don't know. It just feels terribly contrived. And
it feels so contrived. And everyone's doing it now. And everyone has to keep one-upping it. And I'm all for people that have had limbs cut off doing whatever they want. But it becomes very obvious when you look at like certain ads. I don't know how to say this in a politically correct way. But like, it's obvious what you're going for.
Yeah, it's a this, a that, and that.
And like you have to keep, and you have to keep like one from every type of people that there are in the world and every group and every subset. And it's really manipulated. And I think parts of it are good, but at the end of the day, none of these corporations give a fuck about any of us. They don't care. They don't find us beautiful or they just want to make money and they want to look good. That's why they're doing it, and that's what sucks about it. Some cool companies are like, I think that all these different women are beautiful, and I want to share that with everyone, and that's awesome. A lot of these big corporations are just doing it to just be relevant.
Yeah, it's just by popular demand, it seems like, okay, if you're in the bigger camp, then we're going to play our message to you.
Yeah. And I mean, I think ultimately it's probably still a good thing because it's giving people that have never had a platform, but it sucks to feel like it's not genuine. That's what sucks about it.
Yeah.
It's just to make money. But most things, anything that a business does is to make money. Like, I feel like people forgot about that. They're just like, look at this company, they do this and they do that. And like, it's like, they don't care about you. They're just here to make money.
I actually am kind of enjoying watching Hollywood kind of like break down a little bit. Like when Will Smith had that incident at the Academy Awards. First of all,
so insane. This is the time we live in now. What is going on, Luke?
Like 10 years ago, I mean, I'm a filmmaker. I love movies. And so this was a big deal. It was fun to get together with friends, make some popcorn, watch the Academy Awards. Now they're like, well, there's never not been a time when they haven't been pretentious and stupid and like all the things.
Yeah.
But they were a little more wholesome and a little more whatever. And this just totally pulled the curtain down on all of that. For me, anyway. I didn't even plan to watch them. You know, their ratings have taken a total nosedive. And
I feel like no one cares about that anymore.
I'm glad that they don't care anymore, to be honest.
Because it's bureaucracy bullshit. It's all rigged anyway. I mean, not entirely, but
well, it is. Yeah,
it's it's a little bit rigged.
It's 100% rigged.
Yeah, like I'm pretending like I have like an intimate understanding of the Academy Awards, which I don't, but
the best acting is them like receiving it like, who, me?
What?
Me?
You mean the film that I signed up because they said do this film because it's definitely gonna be Oscar bait, and then that's why you did it? Like,
yeah. It
doesn't mean that like a lot of those performances weren't worthy of an award, though.
I've been shamelessly getting sucked into the Johnny Depp trial just a little bit.
My brother has been, but this is my extent of knowledge. So anytime my internet is down, I always Google the word poop because I'm a child. And now the first thing that comes up when you Google the word poop is the Amber Heard. Yes. So that's when I became like aware of what was going on. I'm like, what? I'm like, why does Johnny Depp keep coming up when I Google poop? And why does my internet go down so often? And now I know that that's what it is.
That's genius.
So give me like the elevator 1 minute pitch on what's happening. Basically, she's trying to sue him, but like he's suing her and winning, right?
I don't know too much about it. I think most people's summaries is they're both crazy and they got into a crazy relationship. Of course, no one knows what that's like.
Never done that before.
Yeah, both crazy, but it sounds like she might have done something to put a serious dent in his career. And I don't know if he did as much to her.
Well, if someone ate Taco Bell and shit in my bed, I would come after them too.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm sure they both...
I just think it's funny that she was eating a gordita crunch. I just think that's the funniest thing about it.
I missed that part. Was it in trial?
It's in... Yeah, I don't know. I just heard... maybe someone made that up, but like...
That is... I think
it's the funniest part.
I like the gordita crunch.
I've never had it. Is it good?
It's pretty good.
Where do you get Taco Bell around here?
I go to Atumwa.
Is there a Taco Bell there?
I treat myself.
Wow. We were in Atumwa last night for my friend's graduation, and my friend and I got Sonic.
That's epic.
I know. We like drove up and parked.
They have some really good fast food chains. There's Arby's, which I'm a fan of, the curly fries and everything.
Absolutely.
A lot of sauce too.
Yeah. KFC. Sometimes you want fried chicken.
I know. See, Fairfield doesn't have any of these chains. And sometimes I'm feeling like Jimmy John's.
Oh, yeah. Free smells.
That's 100% true. But I feel like Atumwa gets a bad rap, and maybe, I don't know. There's some really cool architecture. Like the downtown area is actually super cool. And the hilly parts. Super hilly.
And all the weird, there's like a whole like plantation area too with all these like houses with all these huge pillars. I'm like, these look like old plantations. What are they doing here? Like, this is Iowa. We're in the South.
Someone told me too that this is where like old mobsters used to like lay low.
Oh, for sure. From the railroad. So they would come from Chicago. What was that famous like gangster
Sopranos?
Guy? No, gangster guy in Chicago that got caught for tax fraud. Al Capone. Yeah, all of his boys used to come on the train and the train stopped in Ottumwa, and that's
They
one of the
laid
reasons
low.
why.
Yeah. One of the more dynamic conversations I've had, to be honest.
Yes.
You knock it out of the park. And I love
Thank
that
you for coming on my show.
It's been an honor, Meara. Really.
It's been an honor, a privilege. The honor's all mine. I did a really good job setting up the studio, by the way. Can we just pat me on the back?
It's really good. Technical.
High end. This is a nice microphone.
But seriously, like, thanks for keeping it so fun
Yeah,
and real.
no, this
and
is
I
awesome.
love what you're about, and what you're doing on Instagram's cool.
Thank you. We will see.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Anything could happen, folks.
Just wait and see.
All right. Well, thanks.
Okay.
And thanks for watching, you guys. Until next time.
High five. Can we get that on camera?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Totally.
Cool.